Alright, let's dive into the buzz surrounding the Google Pixel 11 Pro. If you're anything like me, you're probably both excited and a bit skeptical about what Google has up its sleeve this year. The Pixel lineup has always been a bit of a wild card, sometimes hitting it out of the park, other times leaving us scratching our heads. But this time around, the rumors and leaks are painting a picture that's hard to ignore. So, let's break it down, shall we? First off, the timing. Google's big reveal is set for August 12th, and the leaks are coming in hot. Personally, I think this is Google's way of building hype, but it's also a double-edged sword. On one hand, it keeps us talking, on the other, it risks oversaturating the market with expectations. I mean, how many times can we hear about a Pro model before it starts to feel like just another upgrade? But hey, that's the game, right? Now, let's talk price. Rumors suggest the Pixel 11 Pro could start at $1,099, a $100 jump from the Pixel 10 Pro. In my opinion, this is where Google needs to tread carefully. With Armageddon driving up costs across the board, consumers are already feeling the pinch. A $100 increase might not seem like much, but it's the principle of the thing. Are we getting $100 worth of innovation? That's the question Google needs to answer convincingly. What makes this really interesting is the rumored Pixel Glow highlight feature. Essentially, it's a colored light on the camera bar that notifies you without needing to check your screen. From my perspective, this is a clever play on minimalism. It's not groundbreaking, but it's thoughtful. What many people don't realize is that these small quality-of-life features can make or break a device's appeal. If executed well, it could be a game-changer for those who value focus and distraction-free living. Design-wise, it looks like Google is playing it safe. The Pixel 11 Pro's design hasn't changed much from its predecessor, which is both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, consistency is good, on the other, it feels like Google is missing an opportunity to stand out. The color options, olive, obsidian, canyon, and fog, are nice, but they're not exactly bold. Personally, I think Google could have taken a risk here, especially since Pro devices often lean into more adventurous aesthetics. Now, let's talk specs. The rumored 6.3-inch OLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate and 3600 nits of brightness sounds impressive on paper. But here's the thing, specs only tell half the story. What this really suggests is that Google is focusing on refining the user experience rather than chasing numbers. The Tensor G6 processor and 12/16GB RAM options are solid, but the real test will be how they perform in real-world scenarios. One thing that immediately stands out is the potential downgrade to 12GB RAM for some models. If you take a step back and think about it, this could be Google's way of segmenting the market further, but it also raises a deeper question: are we sacrificing performance for affordability? Cameras have always been the Pixel's strong suit, and this year doesn't seem to be an exception. The rumored 120x digital zoom is intriguing, but I'm more curious about how Google plans to improve low-light performance and video stabilization. In my opinion, megapixel counts are overrated. What matters is how the software and hardware work together. A detail I find fascinating is the conflicting reports about the selfie camera. Some leaks suggest a downgrade to 13MP, while others claim a 42MP sensor. If true, this could be a deal-breaker for selfie enthusiasts. What this really suggests is that Google might be prioritizing back-end improvements over front-facing specs, which could be a smart move or a risky gamble. Lastly, let's talk about the bigger picture. The Pixel 11 Pro isn't just another phone, it's Google's statement in a crowded market. Personally, I think this is the year Google needs to prove it can compete with the likes of Apple and Samsung, not just in terms of specs, but in terms of ecosystem integration and user experience. If you take a step back and think about it, the Pixel lineup has always been about showcasing the best of Android. But with Android fragmentation still a concern, Google needs to show that its Pro devices are more than just premium hardware, they're a gateway to a seamless, integrated experience. So, what's my takeaway? The Pixel 11 Pro is shaping up to be a solid upgrade, but it's not without its question marks. The price hike, potential RAM downgrade, and design conservatism are all points of contention. However, the Pixel Glow highlight and rumored camera improvements show that Google is still thinking outside the box. In my opinion, the success of this device will hinge on how well Google can balance innovation with practicality. Are you excited for the Pixel 11 Pro? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, the devil's in the details. We'll have to wait until August 12th to see if Google delivers on its promises. Until then, keep questioning, keep analyzing, and stay curious.